and she needs to run with it. I think that the reaction to it is making Disney really shaking the little panties right now, because they failed at the one thing that made them great. They failed. I will recommend now and forever, everybody should at least watch once Hazbin Hotel. Form your own opinion on it. The one thing that I can tell you is that the fucking songs are catchy as fuck. They will stay with you forever. You will be having them on repeat. The other day, my husband walked in on me while I was with the dog, playing with him, singing the songs and creating choreography for it in a Broadway style. And he's like, why are you acting like you're in a Broadway musical? And I'm like, because I am in my head. In my head, I am doing this in a Broadway musical. And I already know how it's going to be staged. I already know how you're gonna have it. I already know how it's gonna work. I already know how you're gonna do the changes, and I don't know anything about theater, and I know how it's gonna go. Okay, we're gonna go back to this. I had a girlfriend at one point. That means I'm cool, right? I didn't manage to give her for very long. You really dislike... Oh, no. But yes, that does mean you're above the bottom of the barrel, social otherwise. Congratulations on not being more than 2 standard deviations below mean or something. Alright, I got a pretty good handle on my body shape and social identity. So let's open this theater. Where am I? Hell. I love it. Just kidding. You're not in hell. You're not really in a theater either. You're actually taking a nap in a wastewater tunnel. Flat on your back, right below an open maintenance access shaft. If your eyes were open right now, this is what you would see. Why am I in a sewer? Why am I taking a nap there? You're in a sewer because it's the only way to reach your goal, Minerva. The underground city you were born in, the ruin you fled from. You're taking a nap in the sewer because you're exhausted and you've gotten a bit ahead of your guide, the ferryman. He was really dragging his feet. Why can't we take the train in from the surface? That's how we escape. The trestlers for most of the train lines were imploded before the evacuation was even complete. None of those lines will take you to Minerva anymore. You can't even walk them on foot. Several other portals and passages used to exist, but they are now heavily guarded. Only a select few personnel are allowed through. Thankfully, the wastewater and ventilation systems were far too intricate to fully seal. Hundreds of outfalls still exist, only minimally secured. So see where it is then. Alright, then you'll have to come back here sooner or later. You can't ignore splinters. We have to dig it out. So dying of infection isn't an option. That's right, I have to find out what happened to my mom. Mother? You mean the woman you left behind in your escape? Hopefully she doesn't hold that against you. I didn't exactly have much agency during that period of my life. No, I kind of thought she didn't do anymore. As opposed to now. In any case, I feel we've established the basics. You're a healthy human being, a slight vice is crime, but we'll be used included. Your purpose right now is finding out what happened to your mom after you ran away and left her behind. Any questions? Yeah, I got a few. Only one. That's important. What are you? Me? My name is Jasmine. I'm the vintage plush cat doll we've been hiding in your shirt pocket for the last 2 decades. You forget me? Don't you remember? Oh, I can't believe I got my hands on a vintage plush Helga brand machine washable cat toy. The salon sent you know. You're very fortunate. It was actually worth quite a bit of money before you rubbed sheep dust and it's not floor. But it isn't your fault. It was left in the care of a toddler. No, that's what you look like. Coming back with little tumor silhouette. No, I didn't forget you.
No, I didn't forget you. You're foundational. You're buried deep. I could never forget you either, Emily. Is it just us then? Huh? Here together? For the most part. Though, I suppose our ferryman guy warrants mentioning. Oh, there he is. Cool. We hired him through a broker to help us navigate this place. But don't worry, he won't come between us, not you and me. Does he have a name? Presumably, but he hasn't opted to share it yet. You've neglected to ask. You've been in each other's company for long enough that it's kind of awkward at this point. Just keep calling him the ferryman to play it safe. He looks hairy. No. Look, there aren't a lot of supermodels in the illicit human trafficking business, alright? I like that line. There aren't a lot of supermodels. No, wait. And honestly, between all the scruff, he's actually kind of handsome. Someone like you could do a lot worse. Thanks, guys. Someone like you has done a lot. Thank you. Why do we even need this guy? We've been through so much together. Surely we can handle anything that comes our way. Okay, so this is a mistake right here. Fortunately, I helped get past the guards, securing the perimeter. We never would have had a camera to so notice. The camera saw notice without him. And the layout of the city is literally Byzantine. It's nice to have someone who knows their way around. Like it or not, we need. Don't worry. Pretty malleable. Okay, besties. Before we continue, I'm going to do a quick shout out for Destiny. Destiny is currently playing Dead by Daylight and doing 12-hour stream. It's super rare because they are never live on a Friday. So if you would like to go over there, I think they are 6 hours deep. I was sleeping before, so I did not catch her at the time, but definitely you should consider it. Okay, we continue. Don't worry. He comes across as pretty malleable. Literally, he's pretty sketchy. So it's me, a snarky antique doll, and a troglodyte we bribed to show us around. Got it. Pretty crack team, right? So it's a bit of a dead weight on it. I think the troglodyte and the doll have got most of this covered. Don't you think it's about time you woke up? Yeah, it'd be a lot more eager to wake up if I wasn't gonna wake up in the sewer. Come on, we're better off ripping that vantage quickly. Get this over with. And if your arms and legs take a little longer to wake up, just try not to panic this time, okay? Time to wake up. I just hope I don't have any visitors this time. You find yourself in the flat of your back, staring up an access tube that leads to the ground above. Muscle control hasn't yet returned to most of your body. But you manage to break the crusty seal, incarcerating your eyes. The light pours into your irises as if concentrated by a funnel. This is for the first time you've seen light in hours. Thought the light would be soothing, freeing to soak in, but it's not. Instead, you feel like a man on a life raft, dying of thirst. As you lay flat, drops of water occasionally miss your forehead. It feels like the water's torture. Only been crawling into the sewers for 6 hours. How much longer do we have left until the ferryman catches up to us? We weren't that far ahead of him, but he did seem pretty out of breath. Or until we reach the end of the sewer and finally find our way into the infirmary. I don't know that either, but probably not too long. I mean, how much longer you get off my chest and let me move? Your answer, and I had. I just need to get in, find out what happened to Mom, and get out. It'll be a breeze. Yep, pretty sure the situation won't get any worse complicated than that. These tunnels will take you straight to the infirmary, right at the edge of the underground city. You'll pop out of an indoor manhole cover, find a nicely formatted document explaining what happened to your mom on a nearby desk, and then escape the same way you get in. Hopefully my ferryman shows up soon. That way I can at least dive closer to my goal and not in this shitty tunnel. Yeah, dying after actually entering Minerva proper would be a lot less humiliating at least. You gotta protect your reputation. Among the cabal of observers, you're imagining in your head right now.
Speaking of, what's that noise? Everything alright, miss? Why don't we think there's something wrong with me? I feel fine. I took you so long. Apologies for falling behind. I'm not as fit as I was when I first became a ferryman. I couldn't keep up with someone as athletic as yourself. Also, I knew it would be fine if you got a bit ahead. The maze is behind us. It's a straight shoot from here to the infirmary. Okay, let's get going. Yeah, let's. Water levels will rise before too long. They're usually pretty high at midday. Stand up. You rise to your feet, near too quickly, allowing black dots to colonize your visual field. The artwork I kind of like. The words of your ferryman's guide echo down the drain as light from his red headlamp stains the walls. The entrance for the administrative ward is just up ahead. Follow me. Let's get going then. The ferryman nods his head sharply in agreement. It's time to get a move on. Ready to get the show started? Stop then a minute. Yes. Finally, prescribed answer acceptance has arrived. We're going with the flow. I like this cut. Very sassy. The ferryman does a quick turn and is behind and begins to slip further down the camera. Reluctantly, mechanically, senselessly, you begin to follow. Oh, shit. Interesting. Look up at the ferryman's guide, descending the cistern ladder. At the top, a small hatch. The hatch has a small aperture cut out on the left side, allowing the pale fire of light to through. Hear the faint sound of metal grating against metal. It's opening the lock, securing the hatch on top. His voice reverberates and it echoes down the cylinder. As soon as I open this hatch, you'll need to clamber up the ladder as quickly as possible. I won't be able to keep it open for long. Ready? Alright, open the hatch. The words come out of you as if directed by a puppeteer. The ferryman guide opens the hatch and flies through. You quickly follow, pulling yourself to the portal at the top. Careful, stand clear. He lets down the hatch from which you emerge very deliberately, as though to avoid making much noise. This table used to perform operations. Operations, yes, but on cadavers. Not living people. It's an autopsy table. Yeah, don't you see the train over there, woman? We're in a hospital mortuary. If you take a peek through the door frame to your left, you'll see the coolers. Take a peek. You peek around the corner and are greeted by an enormous 18-body morgue. The apparatus appears mostly intact, though a few of the doors have been wrestled from their hinges. A faint whiff of formaldehyde still clings to the air. Okay, so this is interesting because this look like very new. We're talking at least 1960s, 1970s, and they are talking trains. They are not talking any other kind of, transfer. So it would be very interesting. Sorry, very interesting seeing how this gives out. As for you to decide, actually, Minerva usually responds more mercifully when the client takes the lead. I'm honestly less of a guide and more of a Sherpa. That said, I do have a few suggestions. You're here looking for your mom, correct? Well, we're in the basement of an administrative ward. There are lots of offices full of scattered documents. Might be worth going through them. There's a flight of stairs right outside the door behind you. They'll take you right up. Shouldn't you be the one leading the way, given that you know this place? You really think we'll find out what happened to Mom by searching this building? To be honest, we aren't likely to find exactly what you're looking for here. You're probably going to need to pay a visit to Operations Ward, perhaps the Chronic Ward, to find exactly what you're looking for. But we'll probably find enough info here to better narrow down our search. Hopefully after we're done here, we'll know which section of the city to focus our efforts on searching. We won't be able to canvass the whole region, of course. Yes, You mentioned that your mom, Rosalind, often made professional visits to the hospital, correct? Yes, she came here for work often. I don't have any clue why, though. She wouldn't tell me. This might go a lot more smoothly if we had any idea where she spent most of her time, or who she interacted with while she was here. She really communicated nothing about her visits? Nope, nothing. We just had that kind of relationship. That kind of lack of relationship. Jasper, stop it. Alright, well, this hospital is huge and we'll never be able to canvass the entirety of it. Let's focus on our efforts on searching the administrative world. That's where we're mostly likely to find clues. Most likely. I think it's most likely, so another mistake right here. Alright, let's start looking. Share the offices in this hall before moving forward, or rather, okay. Find an encrusted tattered notebook lying on the bottom right drawer of the corner desk. The name Vera Silwood is scribbled on the cover. Good find. That notebook probably belonged to one of the accountants that work here in the administration. You might glean a few things about what went down around here by flipping through it. This appears to be someone's diary. Wouldn't that be a little invasive? No, open that. Ah, what diary? Promoted to the maternity. Foreign infuriating you. Feel bad to get in the morning like this. Reading the same on the days. Seems as though Vera didn't want to be transferred here. Forgot to fill this in for the last few days. That's okay. Let's see if we're different. From my first entry, the accounting here is hellishly monotonous. Do you have any clue how hard it is to board someone passionate about accounting? Wow. Within the Saturn core. I felt like I was actually making an impact because Rosalind was so thrilled. I blew the whistle that she decided to make. I need to make an impact here, making sure no screaming newborns double deep in the hospital account. One thing that keep track is the medicine consumption tabulations. Hey, Rosalind's your mom's name, right? Yes, it is. I think we're gonna match. I doubt all that many Rosalind work at the Saturn Corn. He was in charge of staff rotations and transfers. It's definitely a match. I see. In that case, we should definitely keep reading. Oh, what's this? Seems like the rest of the pages have been ripped out. I wonder why. Let's keep an eye through the remaining pages as we explore the rest of the accounting plot. We might glean a bit more information about Rosalind if we happen across them. We need to find those pages. You gotta sniff around like a pig hunting for truffles. Let's go! I like this cat. My favorite character so far. Why is this door bricked off? Maybe there's something good on the other side. Look out the window. Doesn't lead anywhere. So, this place has just random doors to nowhere. I think this used to lead somewhere, but this building was partially demolished and appended dozens of times. Weird little artifacts like these are the result.
anything else to explore here? It's not. I like this floor. It's nice and airy. Yes, it is nice. Administrative staff used to come here to relax and smoke. Did you ever hang out here? No, tunnel rats weren't allowed places like this. Turn to the left and right are administrator's offices, miss. Where you see the small desk hosting an antique typewriter, the scene is tastefully backlit by a pair of partially smashed stained glass windows. The details of the room are relatively ornate. This office likely belonged to someone high up within the administrative staff. Rummage to the desk. Upon searching the desk, you discover a neatly stacked set of withered telegram cards, layered in the order of delivery and reception. What the hell were you thinking? Stop. Why send Vera to this department? Snooping knows where she does not belong. Stop. Potentially disastrous. Even worse, in Saturn corn, stop. No matter how bad you think you have it, she has marked higher. She was much higher risk. Vera sounds as though they were discussing the woman who authored the diary we found earlier. Oh my god, English, don't skip me. Why not terminate her? Not safe in any burrow. Stop. To nosy. Notices discrepancies like Hawk. Why off? Vera extremely productive, judged by quantitative metrics, and family well connected with admin. Stop. Termination would be optimal investors from many angles. Order came straight from Russell. There it is again. Chill. Rosalind. There it is again. That name. You think they're referring to your mom? Probably. She was often tasked with overseeing the transfer of staff. Let's keep going. Send Bean Canter somewhere. She can't. Too much damage. Stop. Relegate to theater department or food products bureau. Stop. If she finds out too much, bad for both of us. Transfer needed. Plausible explanation as promotion. Stop. Vera likely competent, unfortunately. Stop. Even tried giving bad assignments to justify the motion before resorting to promotion. I am sorry. You are useless. You've reached the end of this. Interesting exchange, but it doesn't tell us much about your mom, other than she did want a Vera hanging around the Saturn corner. We should probably keep looking for the rest of Vera's notes. They might prove more illuminating. But why were so terrified of Vera? Makes you wonder what they were trying to hide. Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't be anything too nefarious if they were willing to just leave telegrams like this in unsecure office drawers. If it was something serious, they'd be more cautious. He seems eager to move on this train of thought. I encourage indulging him. Alright, let's go find the rest of Vera's diary entry. The ferryman nods. You return the telegrams to the desk and continue on your way. Okay, I'm gonna stop for a moment. I have like a little query in here because like in previous, when we were in the morgue, she said that her mom didn't talk much about what she did at the hospital. However, now over here she's saying that she's oversaw transfers. So make it make sense. That's one thing that I can say about this. So far, there's been a few discrepancies that make no sense. In particular, this one. So there's one. Why are all these chairs lined up? Nothing else. It used to be an entertainment table, the old place. It went missing. Someone from back to the roof so they could throw it up. You peer into the cavity of the trash chute on the right side of the room. Little light escapes from inside, and the aperture emits an unpleasant sulfuric odor.
Layers of detritus and sludge strewn about the interior makes details difficult to distinguish. Despite this, you notice a pair of loose leaves, papers struck to the back of the receptacle. Put your hand in there, do it. Into the trash. You reach into the tube, your arm is quickly enveloped by an unknown mossy texture. You aimlessly grope through the sludge until you arrive at a relatively crunchy texture. 2 loose sheets of paper. Free the papers from the slimy receptacle and remove your arm. Start the next 2 diary entries. More diary entry to July 8th. I actually found something fascinating. First break in the monotony since my transfer. While looking through records pertaining to the hospital infant mortality rate, I noticed that incidents of stillbirth in the maternity ward are almost never isolated. It's awesome, right? As in, there is never one stillborn. What? On any given day, always there are 2 or 3. Sometimes more than 0 for weeks or months. That's pretty strong evidence of malpractice by 1, maybe more employees. Damn. I'm trying to isolate any obvious common denominators between the stillbirth cases. Perhaps they can be tied to someone shifting the maternity ward. Oh yeah, Mott's a little better. Nothing about Rosalind yet. Flip the page. Mott diary entry 4, July 9th. I noticed a pattern when looking at the nurses' timesheet. Stillbirths tend to occur only when 1 of 4 or 5 nurses are on shift. Currently, trying to sniff out any commonalities among these nurses. Furthermore, I've noticed the clusters of infant stillbirths nearly always coincide with an anomalous drop in the amount of ergot and datura reported in the medical supply cabinet. Medicinal stocks are only recorded weekly, so the correlation is rather coarse. I cannot be sure though. It is as intriguing lead nonetheless. I requested my office be moved to the maternity ward, up on the 2nd floor. They probably think I'm nuts, since the offices on that floor are much smaller. Sorry, I need to hydrate. But I need my eyes and ears there, if I'm to figure this out. Oh, Vera. Looks like that's all that's there. Maybe we'll find more entries. If we can find her office in the maternity ward. This hospital has supplies of ergot and datura. Pandora was the center of a lot of groundbreaking medical research prior to its abandonment. As such, a pretty wide variety of exotic medicinal chemicals were kept in stock. Anyone with even slim medical credentials could get their hands on some pretty esoteric stuff without too many questions being asked. In fact, a team working on this very hospital is credited with discovering that ergot could be used to treat migraines. As for datura, I recall hearing they say some luck using it to treat dandruff. I guess a little bit poison is worth of it, prevents your scalp from falling out. Much about mom on this one. True, finding the rest might still prove worthwhile, however. In the sounds of things, Vera was digging into something pretty shady going on around here. Even if it doesn't pertain directly to Rosalind, we might be very off figuring what it is. Oh, hi! Thank you so much, Matsassen. Let me give you... Please remember to follow my friend Matsassen. They are usually live with many different games, variety of games. Thank you, and good luck with your meeting. I'll have to wait. Okay, so from the sound of things, yeah, we already wrote down. Kind of surprised you don't know more about what is going on. You seem to know your way around here pretty well. Alright. This stuff is all adult stuff. I've always tried not to worry about it too much. Like I said, I don't spend too much time in the hospital or than passing through adult stuff. He's at least in his early 30s. That said, it seems likely enough that whatever was going on here is connected to Rosalind somehow. Given that she's in charge of some of the staff transfers, I guess we keep digging. Alright, what do you suggest we investigate next? The medical supply closets referred in the diary basements. In the diary entries are right below us, in the sub-basement. Those are probably worth investigating. I cannot doubt we'll find much with the entries that mention some anomaly dips in medical supplies. We should probably go take a look. Let me try and give a shout out. Because me, I don't know the timing, so... Okay, 39 more. Yeah, kind of that we'll find. Okay, yeah, following you. Okay, so is there anything else to investigate here? No. Fine. I am very confused right now. Okay, so I went down. Okay, so this is the morgue. Okay. There's no other way to go, so we have to go upstairs. And we'll move right here. The door at the top of the stairwell is locked. Have to find another way up. The overgrown window, you can get a clear view of the hospital building exterior. The portion visible to you is a U-shape. The architecture is very nautical, perhaps because the building faces one of the sea canals. Artificial lighting reflects off the dome's pastel surface, convincingly replicating natural light. You already did this. How are we supposed to go to the bottom? Oh, cool. Come to a stop after exiting the stairwell. You hear something. Some horrible, captivating racket is escaping from a room on the right side of the hall. The focus your hearing. Though heavily distorted, you clearly recognize the source, a woman crying. Someone there? Sounds like a woman crying. Your cry aggressively shushes you before you can finish. He appears calm. His fixed gaze and tense stance betray intense tension. Stay here, I'll investigate. Your guide leans to the side of the door without making a sound. He moves like a cat. He peers around the corner of the doorframe. After taking a look, the ferryman rounds the corner and enters the room. Several moments pass in silence. Say something. Stamp everything. Before the words have a chance to escape, you hear the door slam shut. You instinctively run out the door and peer through the grate. The ferryman is staring back. It's not the door. I didn't. Have you heard of the sorts of incidents infiltrators sometimes report near the Saturn core? The broker must have mentioned them in the introductory sermon he gives to all his time. So he probably didn't go into much detail. Every minute with him is metered. Of course, everyone knows what happens to people near the core. Hallucinations, time stretching, seeing people who've been dead for 20 years. They're not hallucinations.
You just saw this door slam shut. That was no trick. Feel it. Yeah. You should all follow my friend me. It's great. He's going live today, I think. I hope that I'm not gonna be sleeping by then, but yeah. He grabs the door and gives it a good shake as if encouraging to do the same. He's unusually forceful. This room is an all-isolation cell, so it should lock and unlock from the outside. Yet, I'm willing to bet you won't find any means of opening it. Minerva has decided it should remain shut. He said this was the administration building. Why are there isolation cells in the basement? This building wasn't always administrative. It originally served as a sanatorium for cradle residents who were in need of secure recovery. That's why it's located here all along the southern periphery and the back river. I guess that explains the basement morgue as well. You grab the steering handle and shake the door, but nothing gives. The barrier refused to move even a millimeter. You examine the lock mechanisms. The exposed keyhole moderate the extension and retraction of a bolt that restrains the right hand side of the door. Peer to the crevice separating the door from its frame. The gap is wide enough for you to see. No bolts are extended. The door is unlocked. This door isn't even locked. Why won't it open? The door isn't locked. It's completely sealed. Parts of the city sometimes come to life, confusing and disorienting those who breach its envelope. This isn't a simple locked door. This is a trap. One I fell for. Remember the cry woman? That was bait. Lure one or both of us into the cell. Look around. Not a soul inside. Once I had slid in, the door sealed right behind me. Really, I should have known better than to fall for it. Bring myself to leave sounds like that uninvestigated. Encountering resistance this early on is unusual, miss. Do you have some history here, or with this building you should know about? Stuck in too much, do something. Kick the door. You plant your left foot and with firm force it becomes tightly fixed in place, as if stuck in concrete. Without thought, your left glute tightens at the core, senses you raise your foot and tuck it in like a cobra ready to strike. The moment of action arrives, your right foot springs forward, like a head springing from a jack in the box. First contact is made, ripple ropes to your leg and your pelvis. The first was completely affected by it. Ma'am, that's not going to do anything. Ow! Yes, ow. Minerva doesn't respond to blunt force trauma like that. It sucks. I will respond. Probably not. Sometimes there are ways to bargain with Minerva. I don't believe this one is one of those cases. No way around it. This door is staying closed. So what are we going to do? Don't worry. I have a plan for getting out of here. Chief managers used to call me Wiggly. I didn't like it very much at first, but the nickname stuff for some reason. I'm skinny and flexible, even in tightest conduits of interstitial spaces aren't a challenge for me. The utility tunnels that weave underneath Minerva, they're too narrow and constricted for most people to fit through. That's why they had to employ very young people, see? I'm flexible and skinny, wiggly enough to get through them without much issue even now. I remember a path through the pipes that should spit me out of the back of the maternity wards, pulling back up there. How you plan to get into the utility tunnel network? That waste chute in the corner? I'll climb that up. I'll find the correction of the steam transport layer, which runs through the operational sections of the infirmary. There are several portals opening up into the maternity ward. We can reconvene there, in the room at the end of the hallway. You mean to say I can fit into that? That chute is wide enough to route a trolley through. I'll get enough just fine. Honestly, the only conduits I have in trouble with are the pneumatic transport lines, and I can even get through those of some. Alright, so long as I don't have to rescue you after you get stuck.
Hey, Gloomy. Hello. How are you, beautiful?
Were you one of the children tasked with maintaining the steam tunnels? Yes, along the telegrammatic communication tunnels. I also spent shifts in the sewer drainage and transit system as well, so less frequently. Yeah, I'm jamming today and I'm playing this new game. It's called Sons of Saturn. I'm liking it so far. This is not the type of game that I would usually play. I'm reviewing it as well. And as I move along, I keep giving my review. It seems interesting. The story seems captivating, which is actually what brought me here. It's a point and click. It seems very basic, if I'm honest. Yes, it is. I think it's mostly story driven, which I'm okay with. I got attracted to it because they mentioned that they use real life locations of abandoned places, and I have an obsession with urbex exploring. If you don't know what urbex exploring is, basically going to abandoned locations and just exploring what is in them. Yeah, I cannot tactical crouch them. Don't worry, I will go back to Cyberpunk soon and I can tactical crouch everybody there. Especially since I plan on going after a smasher today. So yeah. Okay. I love it down here, honestly. I don't really feel comfortable anywhere else. You spend your entire childhood crawling around steam and sewer pipes? Yeah. I had to help them. I have to help keep them running. It's child labor. Child abuse. I can see how some would see it that way. That doesn't piss you off? Miss, I was orphaned. There was never a fork in the road. Getting upset or angry about my lot doesn't seem likely to change much. And that would happen is I would be upset that no one would notice. Another mistake right here. So far, 3 mistakes. There is so much you could have done with your life. They deny you that. No, they really didn't. I was orphaned at an early age, early enough that I don't remember my parents. I'm lucky to have any life whatsoever. And I'm double lucky to have landed an occupation that taught a few useful skills. Really, the Saturn technicians did me a huge favor taking me in. They are the only reason I'm employed even today. If I weren't so familiar with the Saturn channel networks, I wouldn't have found work as a ferryman. If you say so. How am I supposed to navigate this place? Don't worry. This is one of the safer parts of Minerva, being near the periphery. You aren't likely to run into much serious trouble, so long as you stay out of the basement. And you'll have to try pretty hard to get lost. The infirmary has a pretty simple layout. It looks like a scorpion from the top of the dome. Right now, we're in one of the pincers. Just try to find your way to the stinger, and I'll meet you there. What if I run into any more traps? You might have a few more doors slam into your face. Other than that, I wouldn't worry too much. We're still in the southernmost periphery of the city, far from the Saturn core, so the reverb activity should be weak. Huh. So, as I said, the fact we're seeing any phenomena at all at this stage is alarming. So stay on your toes. Would you mind if I start calling you Wiggly? Not at all, really. It's the only name I've ever gone by. In fact, I wouldn't even know my legal name if I didn't once stumble across some tunnel maintenance shift scheduling ledgers in the administrative district. Huh. There was an entire district. Paul Loman. That name meant anything to me. It's a little stuffy for my taste. Wiggly is definitely more soothing. I mean, Wiggly is literally an apt adjective for describing me, you know. Hard to get more feeling than that. Anyhow, we should get going. I head into the tunnels, like I said. We're completing the maternity ward. You have to navigate there on your own. Just go up the stairs, down the hall, take a left. You find an entrance there that should be unlocked. There's an old operations room at the very end of the serial corridors. That should be easy to find. Just keep walking forward. Going straight when you get there, basically. That room has a small vent that connects to the steam network. I'll meet you there. Right. See you on the other side. Did you see how fast he wiggled through there? It's like he's covering a layer of motorol. Anyway, we're on our own now. Let's head to the maternity ward. Future place of exotic chemicals. I'll with you. Looks like a poster from some weird old ballet. The main actress's head looks weird. He was plastered on. Place to advertise itself. I guess they put on musicals for patients. Of course, it only reopens now that my guide is long gone. Oh, this is something new. This must have been some sort of patient port. The light is bright and those patterns are beautiful. But I still feel like I'm in a cage. I think that's by design.
Oh, hi, Jay. I just saw you come in. Thank you so much.
Are you sure this is the way to the maternity ward? I have to find another way through. It's like some sort of linen washing facility. I'm not sure why it's in the administrative. Well, he did say that they were. You enter and encounter a frail, frizzy-haired woman scrubbing her hands. Her eyes appear slightly sunken, an obvious tell of her intense fatigue. She glares at you intensely. Her expression reveals her view of you painfully clear. You're an intrusion, a foreign body. Who is this? There shouldn't be anyone here. Let's carefully introduce ourselves. Be prepared to run if you sense a threat. The woman rises from the pail to address you. Excuse me, miss, you shouldn't be here. You should have checked the front desk. Every patient should before being allowed past the foyer. I know some of our services are more discreet in nature, but we still need to go through the paper channels. And have you signed in? How did you even get here? You shouldn't have made it past the front desk without security being alerted. Why does she care which entrance we're in? This place has been abandoned for 20 years. Well, miss, I really need to know. No, you didn't. I would have gotten a few alert tabs through the telegrammatic line. I'm prepared to meet you in the inspection room instead of here. I don't typically introduce myself to patients when washing stained rags. For what it's worth, those rags look pretty clean. In any case, we really got to get you signed in. You should have been trained on how to enter discreetly. Follow me to the front desk. We'll politely get you recorded and we can move to the maternity ward. Hold on, who are you? My name is Julia. I've been a midwife in this infirmary for 9 years. You're in good hands. Julia's presence is strange and unnatural. Her cadence, gestures seem disconnected from present times. The sublingual signals she's sending via gesticulations and body language are distorted and incrustable. as it's transmitted to a television set overcome with static. If we go get signed in, would you take me to the maternity ward? I have to take you to the maternity ward, miss. That's where you're supposed to sign in. Why did you come to the administrative wing? You shouldn't be here at all. This hospital has secrets about my past. I aim to figure them out, serial adventure boy detective style. Let's get you signed in. I need to check your patient records, but I suspect you might need a few refills, in addition to our other services. Refill? Medication refill? She's making fun of you. Look, something is obviously wrong with Julia. She seems to think this hospital is a celebration. But if you just go along with her for now, maybe she'll actually get us to the maternity ward? Yeah, she knows her way around at least. Julia wrings the last drop of water off her hands. She softly turns to face the doorframe, motioning for you to follow. Holy shit, she actually opened it. Oh. What's up with this dome? Oh, it's just the main lobby. Patients enter to here. Someone comes to greet them and show them to the front desk. I'm sorry, Django's losing his mind. Give me one moment, guys. Dogo is losing his mind. Okay, there was indeed someone outside and Tango was fucking losing it. Because they were leaving a package very close to the door. So I had to go out and just take it from them. So Tango wouldn't, lose his shit. I love this dog. Okay, patients enter to here. Someone comes to greet them. I show them to the front desk. At least that's what they're supposed to do. Before you lies a small stage. A rotten piano imploded in on itself sits atop, resting beneath the shattered engraving of women waving torches. What's the deal with this auditorium? Seems a little out of place in an infirmary. She's not listening. Come here often? No, I don't. Liar. We should keep moving. We still need you to sign in at the front desk. Means you can't go in there. That's someone's office. Oh my god. You approach the small overlook. A fresh breeze brews through the open windows. Please, miss, let's not linger here. I hate this room. I'd rather go back to moldy claustrophobic hallways because, to be honest, it sounds preferable to me as well. Yes, I really would. I hate this overlook. Hate the view. Hate the crib. More than anything, I hate the smell. Now that she mentioned it, there's a bit of rot in the air. Yeah, what's up with that smell? You're going to make me say that. Sick baby. One we've exhausted uniform. This is where we live. Right there. This crib. Tell the parents that there's nothing else we can do. They still have a chance if they get some sunlight and fresh air. We know it's not gonna work. I think the mom and dad usually know too. But we keep bringing babies here all the same. I keep bringing babies here. They always make me do it. That's genuinely horrific. Someone has to do this dirty work, miss. If I don't, no one will. Did any of the babies you left here pull through? Only a handful. Babies have a real chance don't end up here. Sounds like at least a few of them had a real chance. How many infants got sick and died here? Before our budget got reduced, too many. After the slash, way too many. Usually of respiratory distress. How did you always fall on you? I didn't always. They used to make the newest nurse take on the responsibility. But I don't want to go into it, but I'm very indebted to some of the higher-ups staff here. That isn't fair. You shouldn't have to take all of this alone. Life isn't fair, miss. I've made my peace with that, and I suggest you do the same. It's beautiful. So very sad. This is the front desk. This is where you should have gone as soon as you got here. Remember that in the future. Dila approaches the octagonal station before you and gazes directly into the cavity behind the central pane. Her eyes light up as she begins to converse with someone. This young lady is in need of secondary services. Just let me fill out her forms for her. We're in something of a hurry. Yes, I know she will provide the closing signature, but I can perform the rest. This hospital hasn't been operational in over a decade. She talked. Oh, I forgot to ask. What is your name, miss? She glances at you suspiciously but decides to pursue her intuition of her.
Alright, I'll jot that in. No, she isn't really here for any non-secondary procedures. Just head down for something non-invasive. Ingrown toenail removal, go with that as the official malady. It seems you need an official reason to be here. And whatever Julie has planned for you isn't suitable. She's taken to slandering the validity of your healthy, perfectly formed toes, just so she can have an official reason to sign you in. Remain silent and take the blow to your ego. Julia seems to appreciate your cooperation, but your toe wails in vain, narcissistic. Alrighty, we just need your signature and we'll disconnect. Julia motions for you to come to the pane. You approach the counter, keeping your focus fixed on the document or straight at it. You scan the document for suspicious clauses of you starting feeling something off, something amiss. It says something in your periphery. You glance up. No one is behind the counter. Nothing fills the cavity but a vacuum, along with an ether of dust and insulative particles particulate circulating about the air. This world has been shuttered for decades. There was never anyone at the front desk. Julia imagined the entire encounter. Julia waits behind you, expectantly hovering. Actually, what the hell's going on? Make no comment and sign the document. Just go along with this for now. We don't have much choice. Julia pushes through the signed document forwards towards Valerie. Thank you for cooperating. I know this procedure probably seems excessively elaborate, but we got to take the proper precautions and document your visit. We are subject to intense scrutiny by a number of Saturn accountants, and I'm sure you're aware. Julia quickly makes a quick gesture to the vacuous entity behind the glass and pivots to the right. She expects you to follow her lead and start heading down the hall. That is another death curve. No, miss, this is where we would set up patients suffering from chronic lung diseases. Not everything that happens here is so ghastly. This place is of healing after all. This way, miss. We need to perform a quick inspection before proceeding. Julia motions to the doorway on the right. Miss, I need to confirm for myself. She doesn't trust you. Just a few quick scans to make sure you don't have any underlying health problems. We want to avoid any complications during the procedures. The operations, you see. Now right this way. You enter a small, poorly lit room in the center of a small gurney flaked with antiquated medical equipment, all of it covered with a thick layer of grime. This means, lie down on the table, we just need to get a few physical readings and preliminary scans. You think so little of us that you would suggest we are using unsanitized equipment? We're a little short-staffed right now, true, but all the important equipment has been thoroughly sterilized. It's got the bullshit, you don't care. You waded through a sewer on the way here. Stop pretending to be anything other than vile and lay down on the asbestos cake gurney. This will require anything invasive? I'd like my envelopes on bridge. Anytime. No, miss, this won't require anything invasive. I just need to perform a few quick inspections to ensure that you don't have any underlying health issues before we... You really have no other choice? No, you don't. No, you don't. We need to perform at least cursory inspections before we can admit you into operations. Alright, I have to make it up operations. Get this over with. No need to be apprehensive, means this won't take long. As I said, it's only a few quick inspections. The ceiling above is decorated by an intricate mold pattern, product of decades of water damages. Is beautiful. A set of surgical lights illuminate the features from the left side. You feel like a museum piece. Let's start by taking your blood pressure. Alright. When it's put in place, she gently lifts her finger and turns to one of the machines. You heard it slightly wear. How old are you, miss? 26. A little bit higher than it should be for your age. Still
With intolerances, though, I suppose. You spend too much time drinking and smoking in your early 20s. Your body's already shambles. This is why we have dreams about your teeth falling out. Let's take a look at your heart rate. Your heart rate is a little bit lower than average. Are you an athlete? You are not an athlete. You're just presently deprived of your beloved uppers. Your heart is sinking and administrative accents. I try to keep myself in shape, yes. I can tell. While keeping the diaphragm in place with her left hand, Julia runs her fingers along the right bicep up to your shoulder. That feels nice. I'm happy to hear that. Alright, your heart rate is healthy. Now, just need to check on your breathing is normal. Let's take a few breaths for me. Blah, blah, blah. English is hard. Julia puts her ear down directly over your mouth. You resist intrusive thoughts about gently nibbling it. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply, slowing in and out for 2 or 3 cycles. Rises a bit, her eyes remaining fixated on your chest. Slowly she guides her hand. Presses down firmly. Keep breathing, please. Easy now. In and out. In and out. Focus on the breath itself. The breathing is normal, though I can feel your heart rate spiking a little. In and out, in and out, in and out. Very good. Just one more check. I need you to count to 0, starting from 5, going backwards. Can you do that for me? Ma'am? Like that? What the fuck? The sharp thinking rings through the left arm. Sharp piercing, a gentle nut. What the fuck? You said you wouldn't stick anything into me. Please, miss, relax. It was a pinprick. You said that you wouldn't jab me with anything. Why did you put that in me? Please, miss, there's no need to make a scene. I only provided a small dose of anxiolytics and muscle relaxants, intramuscular, just to make the procedure a bit easy for you. You aren't being charged anything for it either. Really, I'm doing you a pretty big favor. She places her hand back on your collarbones. Finished with the inspection, miss. We can go on to operations. Come on, you can hardly call that little prick invasive. And had I warned you about it, it only would have given you anxiety. Fine. Maternity is back, out, and down the hall. You're so eager, you lead the way. Whoa. I'm aware. Just try to keep moving. Wiggly said he would meet us at the end of this hall. Let's get away from Julia and find him. There's nothing else I can check. Oh, wow. This is it, the room at the end of the wing where Wiggly was supposed to meet us. Miss? Wiggly's behind us. She follows all the way down the hall. Miss, slow down. You're medicated. You should be walking without assistance. Do not stop. Do not wait for her. Where's Wiggly? Trying to find Wiggly. He should be here. You're not alright. You fell forwards towards the back of the room, mostly clear of the falling cabinet, but your legs end up pinned underneath. A multicolor assortment of vials, syringes, samples flow forth from the cabinet. They stain the floor you're pinned to. Not a moment, you clear hanging footsteps. Julia's closing the distance. Julia enters the room, has her knee between your shoulder blades, and arrests your left breast, pulling it behind your back. Her skin feels like ice. The distortions intensify the moment her skin touches yours. She's restraining you, and she's poisoning you. Julia, what are you doing? Patients behaving violently, initiating restraining procedures. Julia is shouting down the hall. She pretends not to hear you. You struggle, but Julia has a strange hold on your left wrist and your knee on your back. Your leg remains pinned by the medical cabinet, though you can tell it isn't too heavy. Your right hand is free, use it. You seize the needle and violently strike Julia right side. You penetrate her envelope, breaking her epidermis. An electric shock shivers down your spine. You shake off the intrusions. Julia doesn't react to the invasion. She isn't even trying to prevent a second strike. Finds it familiar. The room begins to reek of organic solvents. Your shoulder blades and left wrist start to burn. Look at the needle. You drag the vial out of the field of view. You can make out the label now. The needle contains a dose of norepinephrine. Injected straight into your mainline. It should be intuitive for you. Use the boost to wrestle out of Julia's grip. Haphazardly plunge the needle into your outer side of your right eye, midway between the hip and the knee. The sting of violent self-penetration reverberates through your leg. Julia releases her grip and throws herself back. You fail to navigate the norepinephrine to a viable vein, but stab yourself has thrown Julia off balance. Feel yourself. Get up. We need to make a run for it. Pull your leg out from under the cabinet and coil yourself into a pouncing position. Press up chest and tuck your knees quickly, deliberately weight on your right foot. You begin to push your center of mass up. The balance fades slightly as your right leg nears full extension. You slam your leg firmly into the liquid floor, stabilizing yourself. Both legs are fully extended now. You're doing it, you're standing. Julia has retreated to the corner, hyperventilating. Shut the door when she enters. Will it open? Open the door. The cell door that separated you from Wiggly. Minerva wants us here. You look down. Julia is tugging at you. Her body is slightly convulsing as she were being electrocuted. It's pathetic. What did you inject me with? Why did you put me to the ground? Julia doesn't respond until she scurries forwards and tightly grips your cloth. Help me out of this. Give me sedatives means should be grateful I gave them to you. This means I'm in pain. You don't know what it feels like. Her contorted body is like a bag of ice. Every blow is absorbed and ignored. This means just help me. Help me out of it. Finger sinks deeper. Your calf begins to sear. You violently kick Julie to the ground. She again begins to shake. She stares down at her hands. Why? Why do I still see this? Your own hand begins to burn violently. The sensation spreads. Bullet ants begin swarming your body. Your leg is invaded. They begin to fail and revolt. You fall to the ground, paralyzed. The ceiling is trying to suck you in. Succeeding. Your legs and arms extend and retract, taking on bizarre proportions. You feel like a severed toe. Why do I keep finding you like this? Yes, gaslight yourself. Your legs and arms are the same length. Where proprioceptive senses lie. Ceiling is just a normal ceiling adorned with a cool pattern. You can just see it more clearly now. The nerve endings fraying along your appendages are merely toxins leaving your body. You will come out of this healthy. The fog is interrupted by an intrusive grating sound, the sound of a hatch opening. Miss! Miss! You open the grate leading to the docks for you. Dive into the aperture. You hurl yourself into a horrible configuration, some would call upright. You launch yourself into the hole. Wow. Hey there! Been a while. What's he doing here? Get him out of here. That's really not the best time. I need more time. That's all you ever do. Try to buy yourself a little more time. I'll do this for you and make it happen. You need a few more moments to get back up. Let's face it, we were never going to be prepared for this. We should just jump in and get this over with. That scraggly rat is lying. You were seconds from getting away shit together. Better than the one you were naked in public, right? I hate to admit it, but she's right. This is a lot more tolerable than a nightmare. I can go back. I can correct it for it. I can fix it all. No, you cannot. Your past stands forever as an unerasable moment of spite. Spite and stupidity and lust. You squander your youth and beauty, writhing, wailing, vainly trying to chisel that ugly marble into something it just isn't. Will you forgive me? This is these loaded rhetorical questions. Oh no, I'm in no condition to forgive you. Yes, that's the course of action right now. The only course of action, really. I must admit, that's awfully pretty trashing. You feel light splash hit your face. And then another. And then another. Looks like our time is once again coming to a close. I figure this all out. Make everything right. I promise. Ugh, the laugh. It hurts. You just don't get it, do you? You return here. You've already failed. Amelie, can you hear me? Please, without moral or verbal feedback on your part, I have no way to know if you're alright. Tell down, I'm fine. I've always been fine. Why are you not fine? Thank goodness, miss, you really had me worried. If you hadn't responded, I was worried I might have lost another client. Why is my hair wet? Because I threw water on your face to wake you up. Thanks. I deserved it. How long was I out? Not long, maybe 30 minutes. You went out pretty much immediately after you flung yourself into the ventilation shaft. It all happened pretty fast, but I think you might have hit yourself or something. I wasn't sure what was going on, so I closed up the grate and pulled you a few dozen meters to get you out of the shaft and into the more spacious basement. I've been looking over you since. I didn't hit my head, I was wrong. I don't see that how that could have happened, but say so. Did I say anything while I was out? Yes, you repeatedly muttered a few phrases along the lines of, I've ruined everything for all eternity, nothing can ever fix this, none of this is my fault. You also said something about finding a time machine somewhere in Minerva and fixing it up. Did something along those lines in different ways, 3 or 4 times actually. It's not what I remember dreaming. And that is what I remember you saying. How did you know I needed to be rescued from that room? I didn't miss, but the way you were behaving, well, I could tell something unusual was going on. I was in the overhead ventilation system in the hallway outside of that room. So I tried yelling through the vents, but you couldn't hear me. You were only a few feet away. I saw you enter the room, so I decided to follow the ventilation shafts there. And when I opened the grate, you dived in. You acted like you were trying to get away from something, so I closed the grate, dragged you into this basement. What about the woman who drugged me, Julia? What happened to her? Miss, there wasn't anyone else with you. One in the hallway, one in the room. How could he have missed her? She was right there. He must have not been paying attention. You must have missed her. She was right behind me in the hallway and tried restraining me in the room. I see. This is very bad, miss. Very serious. It's Julia who's been following you. She's not like you or me. She's a part of Minerva, and for whatever reason, she's attached to you. How can someone be a part of Minerva? Not everyone left behind during the catastrophe was lucky enough to die. And unfortunately few are still here, lingering on. Nails dug deep into their palms. Julia is one of them, I'm sure. The fact that only you could see her confirms it. You're in deep trouble, miss. But I still don't understand how. Neither do we. No one does. Nonetheless, I've seen this before, so have the other ferrymen. The client, most often someone who connections here, enters the city, and then usually somewhere near the Saturn core, they start having delusions of a third party. The presence might be innocuous enough at first, helpful even, but soon the client gets sick, has trouble walking, start having hallucinations. No matter how many times I see it happen, I never felt to shake me to my core, being a client, incapacitated, writing in terror at someone in the room I cannot even see. If we hadn't separated, I might have noticed the signs earlier, not that it would have helped much. He's been uncharacteristically blunt, isn't he? We're fucked. You've gone through this before, that means you know what to do. Well, we're not completely bereft of options, miss, but there's no way to run away from it. Julie is attached to you, you need to find a way to check her off. Your other clients, how did they get through it? The client who got through found some old family photo belonging to her attachment. I couldn't see exactly what happened, but she reported that showing the family photo to the entity haunting her allowed her to break free. We should hoard for some of personal artifact that means something to Julia. I think that's your best chance. What can you tell me about Julia? Any leads that might point us to the personal artifacts of hers? Client? Singular. She's a nurse who works in the maternity ward. She acted like the visitation she was bringing me in for was extremely discreet and was cagey about what it was actually for. That's all I know. Visitation? Show you for a visitation? Yes. She assumed that I was there for. The door to the maternity ward was locked and she said she couldn't unlock it. The door shouldn't have been locked, kind of suspicious. In any case, that's not a lot of work with. What is a start? It'd be high risk, but we should scour the maternity ward for anything we can find concerning Julia. I doubt we'll find the personal artifacts we're looking for, but we might find a few clues as to her identity and exact role. Don't see any point wasting time. I agree, the tunnels behind me are pretty much a straight shot. They terminate at a hatch that leads up to one of the maternity ward offices. I suggest we start heading through them. You feel unstable, good to walk? We can spend a few more minutes recovering here, but I wouldn't want to linger for long. Hey, yeah, miss, did you manage to grab the medicine from the storage closet I mentioned? Yes. It's in my right shirt pocket. I got your opens, don't worry. Reaches forward and customizates the bottle of stimulants. But thank goodness, I was worried there might not be any more of this in this part of the city. You usually have to venture deep into the core to find this stuff. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're in a basement now. Nice, nice. You emerge from the hatch into a dim, grimy office. Despite the large window next to the desk, the room remains poorly lit. Quigley begins speaking in a hushed tone. This is Vera's office. Presumably the one she wanted after requesting a transfer. I found some of her diary pages in the cabinet while I was working my way towards you. I think you should have a look at them. And let's mind our voices out from here on out. Julia or whoever you were talking to is still probably on this floor. Oh boy. Okay. Give me one moment, please. I'm having issues with my throat right now. So I need to have lime. I like this song. I like lime. Oh my god, taking a shot of lime is... Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Cabinet. To extract the cabinet from its drawer, the interior emits a vaguely leathery odor. Several more diary pages left inside.
In the stack, pick them up. Just a few days again, but this time only because I was so wrapped up in my work. It seems like this woman really enjoyed her work. I've discovered that instances of infant mortality and silver irregularities are synchronized with the medical supply irregularities I documented. Every cluster of stillbirths is preceded by a suspicious reduction in the quantities of ergot and dacrura we have on hand. The implications of this are chilling. I think someone is using the ergot to induce stillbirths. I will explain why the stillbirths tend to occur in clusters and why the medical supplies always go missing. At the same time, I'm going to try and get my hands on more precise stuff sheets. Ideally, within hourly precision. There might be a pattern I didn't see before. So far, I am really enjoying how they are playing out the story. Like, story-wise, it's very, looking through stuff. Like that. She suspects as much as least. She might have been correct. Under her table, abortions ring were pretty common in Minerva, and the medical supply regulators are suggested. Moon Diary entry 6, July the 16th. I managed to get my hands on the employee timesheets. The pattern: over 90% of the interns and stillbirths occur under the direct watch of Dr. Tan or one of his nurses. I suspect they are using ergo from the medical supply closet to induce miscarriage. I'm certain of Datura's guilty. Some of the necessary medical equipment is only accessible intermittently, thus explaining the clustering. Dr. Tan's team, as to women, booked for visitation tomorrow morning, both for obviously frivolous afflictions. I'm going to surveil one of their operations. If they perform professionally, I'll probably just keep a myself. They're probably just a discreet team providing a necessary service. That sounds interesting. But I need proof. There's a ventilation grate in the room. There's laid to use a spray from the docks and see how they perform. So Dr. Chan is running an underground abortion ring. But I thought so. Oh yeah, a song. I mean, what? And for what's worth, I think so too. Vera was planning on spying them during one of their operations. I wonder how that played out. Yes, I bet she took the exact same route through the tunnels we did, just in reverse. The room at the end of the corridor is where they would have operated. She must have been really dedicated to finding out the truth if she was willing to go through those disgusting tunnels. What do you mean? Those are some of the nicest tunnels in the city. Spacious, you barely have to dock. The water is less than knee-deep the entryway. There isn't even a hint of facetiousness in his voice. He loves those tunnels. He really does. Something tells me it might. Let's go search the top floor. There are a few nurses' quarters up there. Maybe one of them belongs to Julia. There are also a few neonatal units up there. We're taking a look around. The stairs are just out the corridor, across the hall. Let's move quickly across the hallway and try not to make too much noise. Alright, let's go. A collection of antique pianos populate the left half of the room. Presumably, they were stored here while not in use. Pages. Pages is strong smell of mold, linings, and internal communication between two administrators involved in the theater department. Read the exchange. Robert Beckhoff to Leslie Wilson. Leslie, I apologize for the last minute change in plans, but we got to pull the posters from the new plate, undisturb them, not distribute them tomorrow. We'll have the new design finished by the end of the week. Best problem. Poster is scheduled to go up in 6 hours. We've been planning this for months. One of the actors sleep with Tan's wife again, or end up in Rosalind's shit list. I hope there isn't a very good fucking reason for this. I'm sorry, Leslie. It's one of our actresses, Julia. She's pregnant, obviously pregnant. We've all been pretending not to notice, but she's bulging so much. It's disgusting. We made a call to take her out of the play today, but she's all over the posters. We got to redo them. That's why it looked like it was superposed. Fuck, fine. Send me the photograph of the new actor's head. Just slap it on the existing posters. That would save some time. You could have just told me at the start. I was pregnant, you know? Jeez, you guys sound horrible. Why were they so mean to Julia? Who was pregnant? I don't know. Maybe they were worried about whether she would fit into those costumes. They picked up for her? Actually, probably to do more with who she was. A lot of people here look down on the nurses. Especially the ones that work in maternity. Why? I never really understood why. I don't like that she was treated this way, but I'm not sure this exchange tells us very much. Yeah, doesn't leave us much helpful info. Let's keep looking. Oh shit. I can see a bit more of the wing from this side. We weren't able to get a good look from the first floor. This day room appears to have been set aside for storage at some point. Documents and other worn notes are strewn about the floor. None of them appear to have anything to do with Julia or your mom. More crypts. Oh my god, that is so creepy. This gorge seems to have a central fountain. It has been consumed. You were never able to get a clear view of it in the first ground floor, but it's very soothing to see. The shelves, awfully ordered. Yeah, they used to be lined with medications too, mostly for the nurses and staff here. Amphetamines, you know, we picked these shelves clean years ago. And this room is way less dilapidated than the others in this hall. All of the rooms in this hall are nurses' quarters. I'm not sure why this one is so intact. My guess is that one of the other ferrymen uses this room as a camping spot or something. That could be an option. I don't think I remember there being any locked doors in this floor. It's possible I'm misremembering things. We have to find a way in there. You know, there's some incredible stuff back there. Goodies, doubloons. Funnel medical stuff, recreational medications, UC letters exchanged between forbidden lovers. Let's keep our eyes out and keep moving. Whoa. It's been in a very long time. You're worried even the slightest touch might cause them to disintegrate. This room was a communal storage area for patients and nurses. Hardly anyone had time to retrieve their belongings before evacuating. All their stuff is still here. We should look through the suitcases. There's a good chance one of them belonged to Julia.
Search through the cruise. Scan the suitcases along the wall for familiar names. Andrew, Shelton, Daniel, Smith. Finally, you see a sense of familiarity occupies your periphery. Julia. Go through Julia's belongings. The suitcase is stuffed with an assortment of old items, ribbons, pens, and copious amounts of children's shoes. What? You also find a stack array of contracts, checks, and receipts. One document in particular catches your eyes. A notice of custody transfer. Angela Melkin, Julia Melnick, Saturn IM. This document certifies that one Angela Melkin is now a ward of the Saturn Interior Ministry. This will be our final communication barring further request for information. So Julia put Angela up for adoption. It was handed over to the Saturn Interior Ministry. They take an indigent children, teach them vocational skills, and provide some employment. Really kind of them to look after the kids in Angela's position. It's very kind of them. It takes everything at face value, doesn't he? Hey, what's that in the back of the notice? It looks like a note of some sort. There's a note. I'm liking the story so far. I know about you. Check the back of the notice. Postscript. I don't often include personal notes with these notices, but there are many unique circumstances. Most women who put up a child in our program don't live 2 floors above in the same building. Some of my colleagues have expressed concern that living in such close proximity to your former child may have psychological duress. Be informed that while we may permit visitations, we don't encourage it. Until there's prior notice is required in all cases. Rosalind, program director. There it is again. It's your mom again, right? So I guess Angela wasn't sent to the interior. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's a coincidence. Hey look, there appears to be an old room key here. Huh. How do you know this is the room key? All of the room keys look like this. They designed them to look like chess pieces for some reason. Think it's a key to Julia's room? I don't know that for sure, but given that she had a button in her suitcase, I think it's likely. But here's something I do know for sure. This key opens the locked door and passes in the hallway back at the corner. I took a look at the lock block and the door. It's a perfect match for this key. I guess it's time to check Julia's room then. Good. That's creepy. The entire room is dense with foliage. Through the greenery indicates near the pot towards the foot of the further cut. Back the pot. A dense, mangled web of ferns is crawling out of the basket. They appear to be suffocating a small piece of parchment stuck beneath the root. The basket itself appears charred, as though it hosted a small fire. None of the basket contents appear damaged by flame. You sink your arm deep into the mesh of ferns before you and begin blindly groping to the object you dense. You feel the stems of the greenery enveloping your arm, depriving you of oxygen. Digging deeper, force your arm deeper into the mesh. The parchment begins grazing your palm. You try to wrestle the document from the ferns, but the plans are seizure full. You yank again more firmly. The roots don't yield. They won't let your arm go. You grind and twist. You begin to panic. The ferns do not respond to agitation. They have you in their teeth. You have to go on the aggressive. Immediately reacting never got you anywhere. Diving to the ferns is dividing, reaping the terrain is not on your side. But they do not relent. Dive deeper. You dive her first towards the bottom of the basket. Finally, you sense the ferns beginning to yield. Free your arm.